Well, welcome and welcome back, everyone, because I think we have a few new faces or replacing faces like Esther that is making sure Über den Tellerrand is represented, and a few people that wanted to join or got invited, like Frederick from Germany.
Yes.
We're again going to have more space for getting to know each other a little better in the breakout groups, which is going to be our big focus today. But nonetheless, if you want to introduce yourself, just like last time, quick rules, there's a chat. You can put your name, where you're from, your organization, whatever you want to share. You can direct it to everyone, or you can as well direct message to people that you'd like to get the attention of. And you will explain the process of today's call, but I just wanted to welcome everyone. And we had our second round for the Latin American group yesterday, and it was truly magic, and everyone's already continuing collaborating online, which you're going to learn about a bit later as well. And what's been in both people that have been in calls or podcasts with me in the last 2 days, but what's really been motivating me right now is the potential of what we have to create together. And I was on a session for crisability this morning, seeing opportunity and possibility in the crisis. And I think everyone that's here connected is doing exactly that, respectively in your own context. And here by somebody that's going to recognize the quote that I wanted to share with everyone to kick off this morning. One of my mentors. And really, it's been more and more relevant for me, and I see this happening every day now. So I'm going to share a quote by Margaret Mead. Never doubt a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens that they can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. And so I truly believe that this group, it was it yesterday for Latin America, this group today, and all these different clusters of the social gastronomy movement is exactly what we're doing. And so let's keep changing together. And on that note, I will pass on to Q, who is going to be our wonderful facilitator today. But don't hesitate reaching me as well on the chat, Glicia, as last time, for technical issues as well. And each of your groups is going to have a wonderful facilitator as well for your discussions. So great call for everyone.
Good morning or good afternoon or good whatever it is, wherever you are around the world. Thank you for being here with us. Before I go on, I just wanted to open up a little space in case anyone who was on the last call wanted to share anything that came up for them between the last call and this call. Like, yeah, if there's anything that you wanted to share. So I think today with the hat, we did the hands thing, but I think we can do it spontaneously today. Like if you want to speak, just open your mic and go for it. So did anyone like have any reflections or insights or connections that came from the last call?
I would say that the idea of trying to collectively seek funding struck me as a really important and exciting idea from the last call.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Amber. I think a lot of people shared that sense.
Yeah, for us as well from Colombia. So I was in a session with Chris, and we talked that it could be really powerful to think about how we can do a common fundraising process to support different projects around the globe. So yeah, that's the reason why I really think this this makes sense to talk about financial sustainability together.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's go forwards. I'm just going to share my screen here with you guys. Okay, so we're just going to do, just to remind everyone that what our goal was and why we're here, right? So we're here so that everyone learns and makes progress in overcoming their challenges to better serve the local community, with the focus of financial sustainability as being the challenge that everyone on this call shares. So where are we on the journey? We had the first roundtable where we worked on expanding perspectives, and we had Patricia as a specialist and Chris on as a grassroots innovation who brought the presentation. And thank you guys for coming again today and participating in the call today. Today we're on roundtable number 2. We're discovering next steps and going into participants' case studies. And then afterwards, we'll look at continuing support through channels like Slack. Just like to ask everyone who's not talking to mute themselves to reduce the sound on the call. Thanks. So the agenda for today is we're going to present, there's 3 case studies that came from the last call, and we're going to present these case studies, and then people can choose the case study they want to join. And then we'll break out into, like, we'll have 50 minutes this time in small groups around the case study, and everyone will be in the case study that they chose. And then after that comes back, we'll have a sharing of what came out of the breakout rooms. We'll look at, we will offer ways that we can continue to support each other. And then we'll just get a general feedback on the process from you guys, because this is a prototype. So we're learning so much. So this is a great opportunity for you to help us to learn more. In terms of making this a beneficial experience for all, we find that finding a quiet space, using video where possible, and having a pen and paper nearby are really important. And also we're going to be much more focused today on peer-to-peer participation. So we really want to practice collective intelligence, which is really the core of what we're doing here. We're tapping into the intelligence that we have beyond the individual, but as a collective. So please share what you have to bring. Your voice is welcome. Yeah, thank you. So I just want to present so I'm going to now present the cases just briefly, and then I'm going to ask each of the person who is bringing a case to share a little bit about their case. But just before I do that, I just want to once again just share my screen with you guys so that you guys have got an overall view of the cases, right? So we've got theme 1 is, how do I prepare for the future financial sustainability of my environmentally and socially responsible restaurant? And that's Adit who's bringing this. The other theme is to bring the SGM Collective fundraising project, which is already in motion, and receive advice from people. So the theme of collective fundraising was really important to everyone, and there's a real opportunity here for us to work on this together. And then there's Francisca, who is bringing the question, how can we develop a plan for a network of financially sustainable restaurants connected to local producers that will support the most vulnerable? But what I would like to do is, I said that in my words, but it's much more powerful when you hear them. So I would like to invite Adit, if you could give a 2-minute. So basically, guys, we're going to all participate in a movie, and they're about to give a trailer. So you get to choose, you know, like when you go on Netflix and you're looking at all the trailers to decide which film you want to dive into. So we're going to do like a trailer. So Adit, what's the trailer for your movie?
All right. Yeah, no pressure or anything, right? So yeah, hi everyone. My name is Adit. I'm currently in the process of starting a, like you said, very, you know, he got it really nicely. I am in the process of starting a socially responsible and environmentally sustainable restaurant in India. The goal of the restaurant is to kind of start a household level conversation about sustainability in food specifically. I'm not saying that I know all the answers, but the hope is that we can start that conversation and push that conversation further along. And kind of the issue that we have, or the concern that we have, is as a sustainability oriented restaurant, or a sustainability oriented food service organization, how do we remain financially viable in the post-corona sort of economy, in the post-corona market? And in addition to that, kind of the secondary question, of course, so that is, how do we kind of continue to talk about the importance of sustainability to when people are more thinking about, the coronavirus and, of course, their own finances.
Thank you, Adit. Thank you so much. Zaya, could you give us a 2-minute trailer on your theme?
Of course, sure. Hello, everyone. No pressure at all. But of course, sure. So I think that ever since the outbreak of COVID-19, sanitary, economic, and social crisis, we at the movement, we realized so many social gastronomy projects around the world, both in our community, but also around, like, in our different parts of the world, were affected. So there we already let's say had different inactions taken in response to that. To support, we launched a solidarity chain to give the voice to different projects around the world, to share their concerns, their also best practices that we tried to collect afterwards in our COVID-19 resource hub on our website. Then here in these roundtables, really promoting collaboration between us. And on the very first roundtable last week on Thursday, on this subject, we heard from everyone how collectively we can really fundraise together for different projects to support each other and also to grow our collective impact. So we realized that the movement that we have, the ability to mobilize our efforts and resources to go further, even to support projects in our community, but also that are not yet globally, and raise their voice collectively for a solidarity fund, a social gastronomy solidarity fund. We did thinking around that, and we wanted to present you other thoughts and hear from your feedback and benefit from projects being present here, hubs being present here, but also different specialists in grant making, or I don't know, here I see Diego, to hear from you so that we can really make this as inclusive as possible and efficient and benefiting local communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Zaya. And our third movie trailer is from Francisca, please. 2 minutes.
Hi, I'm Francisca from Chile. Our project is called Comida para Todos, Food for All. And we want to establish a permanent platform of solidarity support for the most vulnerable sectors through the magic of restaurants and their local producers. And empowered by the foodie community. Our objectives are help marginalized people that are suffering because of the crisis of the COVID, ensure food security to all. We want to reactivate restaurants' operations, and we want to support our local producers. How does this work? Through an open donation platform to restaurant clients, citizens, and corporates. They buy the number of plates they want, for example, 3,000 Chilean pesos each, and the money goes directly to the restaurant that will cook daily to the ones in need. With this income, the restaurant starts again with their operation and connects in an extraordinary way with its community. In the near future, we believe that this pop-up campaign could transform into a permanent and sustainable platform, as restaurants and bars could use their closed days or dead hours to increase their income by a new social business model operation. Collect as well in their daily operation by innovative actions with their customers, like social tips, social menus, fundraising dinners, new pop-up campaigns. This campaign is conceived by the Social Gastronomy Hub in Chile, formed by Ñam Lab, BOA, 99 Restaurant, Amares, and Las Condenadas, and the Fundación Gastronomía Social, Land Agency, El Contenedor, and coordinated by the Fundación. And this pilot will start with 5 restaurants with 300 dishes per day per restaurant, 1 month campaign. And if it works, we want to scale it nationwide.
Thank you, Francisca. Well, it's hard to cheat. This is crazy, isn't it? Like, I think everyone's probably feeling like, I want to be in all of these. So I want to just let you know that that we will be recording what happens in each room on video. We've not done this before, so I don't know how long it's going to take, but we will give access to that. So even if you don't participate in one room, you can still watch it later. We don't know how long it will take us to prepare that, but we'll be on that as quick as possible. So just to like avoid the fear of missing out syndrome. So what I would like to just do now is just to go back, and I'd like everyone to write down the number of the room they want to participate in. And I'm just gonna once again share the screen so that you can all remember. So can you just everyone write down, I want to participate in room 1, 2, or 3. You don't post it yet, just make a mental note. That was quite a journey, right? To dive into a case and go, there's a part of me that's still like coming back from it. I don't know if other people are experiencing that. I would love to hear from the people who brought the cases, because I think everyone's curious to know what happened in the other rooms. And I just want to say that last time we did this, someone commented that it was particularly helpful, and what they wanted to hear from people was, what specific like pieces of information changed the game for you that you can see the way forward? Because to say that it was great and you received support and the energy was great, I mean, we love all of that stuff. That's that we're also here for that, you know. But people want to know what exactly changed, you know. So I want to just invite the hosts to reflect on what did you hear so far that you think will help you with your current challenge? And what are you taking away from this call? So can I do the same order? Can I start with you, Adit? And just to be clear about time, I think we've got like 10 minutes maximum to hear from all 3 people.
3 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that I'm also going to be kind of digesting a lot of the information I got today for the next few days. But I will say that that definitely the idea that you know, there are other restaurants out there that are trying to do this as well, and we can kind of combine and put together and document our thoughts and work together to essentially create collaborative solutions for all of this is very important. And I think that the other thing that really you know, reframed it for me is not looking at just how we as restaurants can survive, but then how we as restaurants can help the farmers, how we can help the producers. So that to me was definitely really inspiring.
Thank you so much. Actually would be great to hear from the other group that worked on, from Francisco, that worked on something similar, maybe. Can we hear from you?
Yes. We talk a lot about how to generate like a continuous flow in so the financial stability to the project. So we talk about memberships or like social tips or like making a special plate in the menu of the restaurants So that plate is like a little more expensive. And when you buy that plate, you donate some part of the plate. So like a lot of actions related to communication. We talk a lot generating more actions with the farmers, with the local producers, connect them to people also, like to talk about everyone that it's going to be part of this. That I can say. And thank you to all, because it was amazing, and the energy also was very nice.
Thanks, Francisca. And Zaya?
What I'm taking away from this call, well, lots of things as well. Lots of contributions from different kind of perspectives, coming from hubs, projects, also people like specialists in fundraising for many, many years. I take a few concrete things with me. I'm very happy that I heard today that it is a good way forward to launch both to fundraise collectively, and when we launch the fund, it's good to launch both the campaign and the call to act at the same time. Like that was for me like one direct thing that is good and it's very clear. However, before launching that, it seems very important that once again, Patricia highlighted the importance to prepare it well in advance and already have 25% of the fund secured by matching funds and not going there with zero. So once again, it was highlighted. So I think I need to take this into consideration, like we need to take this into consideration. And then once again, the very important part of, we were already struggling and thinking of really how to support not only big, but also small organizations. The question of criteria is so key. So I'm very happy that I can count on support from our group to really make sure that we have fair and transparent criteria. And that's super important for the movement. But at the same time, I was glad to hear that we do not need too heavy like due diligence information, and that Patricia said she can help us with the minimum that we need to have, but like not to have a burden of criteria that no one can relate or even at this time of crisis fill in and apply. So a lot of thing was about communication. There were so many specialists there, and we unfortunately had to cut on that point, but that was very key that we communicate this in a very efficient way, given that it's a global movement and we are targeting 10 countries with very limited resources. So I'd really like to continue the conversation on Slack, in Slack, or in a different, like on a different platform about communication specifically around the fund. So thank you very much, everyone, for your contribution. I feel very animado. I feel alive now and thinking like, yes, we're moving forward to that. What? Motivated even more, yes. That it's not, once again, I wanted to bring this, that it's not something that we do at this SJM right now, but hearing from all of you that it makes sense, it actually gives lots of motivation to continue and really build something and try something out to do it.
Thanks, Zaya. And Zaya brought up the fact that I'm imagining many of you are maybe either wanting to stay in contact with other people that were on the call, or wanting to connect with people, or wanting to offer links. Some people are already doing this via the chat, and so we're gonna take we've got an organized space for this conversation to continue outside of this space, to not cut all of the connections that we've made. And Paola, who's joining us and helping us to make this possible, is just going to give you like a brief explanation as to how we're going to create this space together.
Perfect, Kio, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm also, I really enjoyed our group conversation. It was great, a lot of insights. What I really enjoyed is all the projects which were suddenly mentioned. For the project from Francisca. So we shared a lot of links. and projects. And the idea right now is that we bring all those suggestions to a virtual workspace, because right now we can meet in these roundtables, but the idea is that we really bring it onto a paper and that we can keep a continuous dialogue between all of us. And that's why we decided to move to Slack. And I really invite you all to be part of that community. We are just launching it. So we are very open also to suggestions. I just shared a link in the chat, so you can already join now, but you will also receive a follow-up email from us where we're gonna put the link. There are two recommendations which very often happen to me. So the first one, that we can't be always connected to Slack, that's for sure, but there's some ways where we once in a while get a notification. If we are able to get a notification if we download an application to our phone. So we can, you know, like once a day or once a week or every second day, it depends on how urgent you also want to connect with the community. We can check the application on our phone. And if we are at the computer, we can also just like leave a window open or check once a day to see if there are any updates. What is interesting is that if we have a project and we need support, and that's mainly why we're doing this, you can share it on the Slack channel and people can, you know, answer with links, suggestions. And we also want to co-create. So there are going to be some channels which are very specifically related to a project. So we can co-create together a solution. So that's a little bit like what our mission is in the movement. So I invite you to take part. And yeah, if you have questions right now, you can make them now. You can also make them later on to me. Once we send you the email, we can also chat and have a conversation. And we're really open to feedback in regarding to the structure and so on. So yeah, whatever, if you have a question right now, let me know.
And to complement that, and actually Adit just was asking, we will make a training session. Our team recently moved to Slack as well. So there'll be a training session. And if you cannot attend the training session, we're going to take a video of it to share with everyone as well. It is quite intuitively, but you need this first introduction. Q is still struggling, so he'll learn with you. But yeah, it's actually, once you're on it, it makes a lot of sense. And now we are trying to move away even from WhatsApp as a team, because it's quite invasive. And we go in everything's on Slack. It's pretty fascinating what you can create there. So from someone that was just onboarded, I can only say so much. And so just whoever can already connect and explore, but there will be a onboarding session that we're going to make for everyone. Or a few.
Thank you.
If I can do it, anyone can. That's all I can say. So, I seriously resisted, trust me. Okay, great. And I think I just wanted to name that, you know, these online calls were really, they were an attempt to seed ongoing connection and collaboration. For us, the idea wasn't that this ends here, that if we knew that it would end it here, I don't think we would have put in the amount of effort that we did to all of this. So we're really hoping you'll join us in watering the seeds that we've been planting over the last couple of calls. And we can, like, you know, tap into collective intelligence. This is really like one of the main roles of SGM, is to provide a base with which people can tap into an intelligence and not just rely on the individual. That can be quite stressful, if you maybe know. I just want to hear from maybe like one or two people, like how you're leaving, like after this experience. This little journey we had.
To shout out. I know none of you are shy.
I would say my brain is like boiling inside, like full of ideas. Like I really need to sit down and write my ideas right away, because I think it's like all this experience, like being here at home, not moving, makes you think so much. And so much about your new priorities in life. And I think all this gathering you guys, like hearing from you the same kind of situations, similar experiences. It's the very first time that all the world is in the exact same situation and we have the exact same problems, which in some sense, this might sound terrible, but in some sense, I really love it. I'm really like appreciating even the bad parts of what's happening with COVID-19.
Thank you, Camilla. We've got space for one more person to share. There's some people who are saying they're leaving Hungary. Amber?
Literally and metaphorically. Let's reiterate that.
I know. And then Diego was saying he was a little frustrated there wasn't more time for the wonderful exchanges, but is excited about the idea of continuing this on Slack. Thank you very much. One more person want to share?
Just to add one issue, far beyond any thought, beyond any rational input, it's just great to feel that spirit of global community in my little home village, having just 600 inhabitants in the north of Germany. Yeah, so great. Just to express that and to verbalize that.
Thank you, Frederick.
It's on record, don't worry. It'll be publicized.
I think Alvaro had his hand up, so let's make an exception and have one more and then we'll close. Thanks, Alvaro.
Well, I feel like my little seedlings that I showed yesterday, there were little seedlings in these egg boxes. And there's a concept that it means companion plants. Companion plants means that a basil is very friendly with a tomato or with a carrot. So I feel like here we are very good fellows, very good companion plants, and we are now putting this lovely soil compost, and now we just need to put these companion plants and let's eat.
Perfect ending, I think.
Doesn't get better than that.
No better. So thanks for taking that over, Alvaro. I think I can call it to an end now officially and thank everyone for your active participation. Just like David said in the chat as well, inspired versus motivation versus hunger for more. So with that being said, go get something in your stomachs and I'll see you all on Slack and hopefully soon as well, virtually continuing some other calls to continue on Slack. But thank you for everyone.
Take care. Yeah?
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much and stay healthy.
Thank you, you too. Ciao.